Good. How are you?
Good.
Good morning, Komal.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too. Thank you.
Hi, Suprita. This is Srinivas here.
Actually, Noel Suprita here.
Where are you located, Suprita?
I'm in Bangalore.
Oh, you're in
currently.
Bangalore.
Currently, yes. And where are you from?
I'm here in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, okay. That's where we were before.
Okay. And what happened? You guys moved back or just part of the COVID?
Due to COVID, we're here, but before that, we came here in last September. It's going to be almost a year for H1 renewal. And then we were supposed to be back by now, but because of the COVID, we're here now.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
And what sorry, yeah.
No, go for it.
No, I was going to ask you, like, where were you working before here in the Bay Area, Suprita? Because your name looks familiar.
Oh, no, I wasn't working anywhere. I was a housewife.
Oh, okay.
I was on a dependent visa, so I wasn't working.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Komal, let's go.
Okay. All right. Okay, guys. So can you both tell me, like, do you have idea about any programming language before? I'll start according to that.
Yeah, I mean, I have programming background, but that's I haven't programmed in a while though. I mean, it's been several years since I've taken on a different role. So yeah, I mean, I do have the background. That's not a problem.
Okay. No, it's just like I wanted to know, do you have basic knowledge? Okay, what are variables? What are data types? That's it. Not more than that. Just knowing what are these things. That's it.
Yes, I do.
I have studied, I did my BSc in computer science, so I know the basics of programming. Yeah, I do understand what are variables and data types and things like that, but nothing, I don't have any experience in it though.
Okay, got it. All right, no problem. Let's start with this. So, yeah. So let me tell you the work plan here first of all. It's like for every topic we will be having some prerequisites. That's how we are going to do. We are going to start with the prerequisites. We are going to then jump into the topic. Like our first major topic will be triggers here. But to do triggers, we have basic requirements like we should know about the data types and variables. Then after that, we need a knowledge of Salesforce Object Query language, or I will simply write the database languages. Thirdly, we need to have a knowledge about loops, conditions. That I feel you guys already have. Like, okay, if this condition is true, then we will perform this action. Otherwise, we will perform that action. That kind of things. Okay. And here we have a most important loop that's called for each loop. I don't know whether you have heard about it or not. So this is like here in every code we use it no matter what. Okay, like everywhere we just drop it. Okay. So other than this, I don't think we have any other requirement here, but I'll let you know if there is. It's not just striking in my mind right now. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Okay. So let's start with the very first topic here, data types and variables. Alright, so guys, basically when we work with the Apex programming, okay, specifically Apex programming, we will be having three kind of data types, okay. We already know that whenever we work with any kind of programming, any kind of, let's say, writing codes and everything, whatever operation we would like to perform, they all will be performed on some kind of data, and that data we have to store somewhere and then only we can use it. Okay, this is the basic rule of programming: fetch the data, store it, and then only use it. Okay, so in this thing, fetching and using is a different thing, but when it comes to storing, we use variables for that. Okay, so when we use variables for storing our data, at that time we have, its variable is like a storage place where you store the data and then you use it. Okay, here data types are like what kind of data we can store into that storage, what kind of data type we are linking with the variables. So it's just like fields, that okay, you create fields to store data and you specify some data type, that okay, this is going to be the email encode, this is going to be the text encode, this way. Okay, so here as well, basically the definition that you use to create a variable, the declaration we say, okay, that to declare a variable, we have a very basic syntax. Okay, data type space the variable name, okay, and semicolon if you do not want to assign any default value, equals to the default value if you want to assign some default value. Okay, like this is the basic declaration syntax here. Now, variable name could be anything. It should not just be any keyword. Okay, that's already defined. Okay, any name, your name, my name, Apple, work, project, anything you can go for. Okay, and then we can assign some default value to it. Okay, it could be like whatever value we want to store. Okay, but here the big deal is the data types. Okay, we have to know what are the data types supported by Apex, how we have to write them, what's the syntax and everything. Okay, so here we have three types of data types. First, primitive, which are normally common in every programming language. Then S object, and then third, collection. We'll be talking about each one of them one by one. So let's start with the primitive data type. Here, this one is simple, like, okay, all the basic data types are here. If you want to store numbers, you'll be using integer. So here we write the complete syntax, integer, okay. Then string for storing the text data, and then you can go for date to store the date here, okay. Here we do not have float, here we have decimal to store your decimal values, okay. Then here we have a good thing, that's ID, that's used to store the record ID. After that, we have, let's say, boolean to store your true or false value, okay. So this way we have some basic primitive data types used to store one value at a time, and almost common in most of the programming languages. Okay. Then comes the second type of data type, that's S object. S object means Salesforce object. So yes, it means you can use both standard or custom object as a data type, because eventually when you will be storing records, at that time what do you think you'll be using a data type? Of course that object only. That okay, if you want to store accounts data, you want to use the accounts data, you'll be using account as the data type at that point. Okay, so here we have the same thing. We can use account, contact, any standard object, or even a custom object as a data type. All you need to use is, you need to use the API name of that custom object if you want to use any custom object. Okay. And here in programming, if you are working with any custom thing, whether it's a field or an object or maybe anything that's custom, that's available to be used in programming, you have to use its API. Okay, you have to go for using its API name into that. Now, all these data types that we are having, the primitive one and the S object, both are helps you to store one value at a time. Okay, only one value at a time. But eventually, when we will be working with programming, we may need to store more than one value, not just two values. If it's more than one, it could be like uh, thousands of records, okay, hundred of values, anything, okay, any number. So if we talk about normal programming languages like Java, C or C++, over there for the same thing we have arrays. But arrays is a kind of static way of storing the data. You have limited storage. You gotta define the storage that you use and everything. Okay. Here we have that thing as collections. Okay, and it's a very powerful data type here, not just one. There are three data types within a collection. We have list, we have set, and we have map. These are the three data types that helps you to store more than one value at a time. Generally, the both of like all of these three helps you to store more than one value at a time, but the way they are going to store the data, that's going to be different. That's what we need to know. So for today our topic will be working on like list, set and map, whichever we cover. Okay, so we'll be starting with the list. Okay, this is your first interview question. They can ask you define collection. Let me write as an interview question. Explain collections, their difference, or there could be a scenario based question, and they might ask which collection to use. Okay, so in the end, I'm gonna ask you all these three questions. Okay, so be ready, and in between as well, I have some questions. So just be sure about the like what we are going to listen, like what we are having. All right. So when it comes to list is inspired from arrays only. Okay, it's just that it's dynamic. You do not have to assign any kind of storage here. So list is an ordered collection of data. It means in whatever order you are putting the data, it's going to be in the same way, same order. Okay. Now, how is this order being managed over here? So order in list is managed by index. Okay. One index is assigned to data that you are storing. It's like, let's say if you are storing 2, 3 and 4, okay, then in that case what will happen, a position will be assigned to each value here, 0, 1, 2, like this. Okay, 0 will be assigned to 2, 1 will be assigned to 3, and 2 will be assigned to the 4 data here. And this way position will be fixed for all of your three values. And if in case you want to fetch any of the value by the index, you can do that. If you want to replace your data with the index, you can do that. It means that index is going to represent that data. Or you can say that data has a fixed place now in your list, and that's identified with that index. Okay, so index is used here to manage the order in the list is managed by index. Okay, index for first element is always 0, for second it's 1, and so on. Okay, list accepts duplicate data. You can store duplicate data here. List is used as a return type of SOQL. So I'm just mentioning it right now. I'll tell you tomorrow about this, what it actually means. Okay. And okay, so what else? List works with one object at a time. And list can store. Now, even if you are creating list of data at that time as well, you have to mention what kind of data you are storing into the list, right? Whether you are storing integer values, numbers, integer number are one and the same thing, like S objects or something. Okay. Here, this can store any kind of data. The primitive, the S objects, and even collection. You can store list within a list. That will be called as list of lists. So we are going to talk about that as well for sure. Okay, so that's what we have in the definitions. Now the next thing is we need to see the syntax over here. Now guys, this is like alert for you that the syntax that I'm going to show you, you are going to see the syntax every time you are creating something new. Okay, it could be creating anything new. The syntax that we are going to use is pretty much the same. Okay, it's like a format created by Salesforce that okay, whatever new you are creating, you have to use this syntax. Okay, so here what we have is we have this list. We have to provide it a data type. We have to give a list name. Okay, that okay, we are creating list of this data type with this name equals to new. New is the keyword that we use to create new thing, new place, create new memory allocation, right? Equals to new, and after new you have to give again this list, the data type, and we go. Okay, and this will create an empty list. To add the data here, we have different ways. Either to the list name, you can assign the data directly, the whole data in one go. We'll see everything, don't worry, just one by one I'm giving you idea. But right now we are going to go for a specific method that's created to put data into a list one by one. That's add method. Whatever value you want to add, put it over here and done. Okay. Now, there's one more thing here that when we will work with the programming, we are going to open first of all in your Salesforce. Go to the developer console, and right now we are working with prerequisites. It's just a part of your real-time codes, right? So you cannot yet, okay, you cannot yet execute it directly in your real places where you write the real codes. So we need to find a place where we can test our small parts of the code. Don't worry about this. This is Salesforce Lightning programming. Okay, this is a whole different thing. So for that thing, you have to go to debug and click on open execute anonymous window. Okay. So this is the place where you execute one-time codes. Okay. Maybe you want to do testing, you want to check whether the code is working or not. Okay. It's not going to take input from the user, of course, because you here can write only Apex testing. You can do like not testing, it's like executing one time code. So here you can execute only Apex code. Secondly, you cannot store what you are executing. Okay, once it's gone, it's gone. All right. So it's just for one time execution of the code. So we are pretty much going to use this place for our practice purpose in beginning or even in the mid sometimes. So let's start. Let's create a basic list of integer with the name, let's say employee ID equals to new list, integer, and we go. Okay, so you can just simply use this name here, dot add. I'm gonna add few values here. And here the print statement or debug statement. Okay, normally I would say the print statement is system dot debug. Okay, and here I'm gonna put the name of the list so that I can print whatever is stored in this list. Okay, click on this open log and execute it. And after that you gotta check on this debug only. So it's giving you this output, 45, 34 and 12. The parentheses are used specifically for your list only, and you are getting the output. Okay, so this way you can store more than one value. Guys, spoiler alert again, it's just right now learning of syntax. Okay, we are not yet into using list in real time schedule. It's right now we are just learning its syntax, how it works and everything related to that. Okay, so any questions till this point? And one more thing, if you have any question in between, okay, while I'm talking, just interrupt me. That's just fine. Okay, you do not have to worry about that. So, any questions?
It's good so far.
So you said, like in the first part, you said something about triggers. Why did you call this a trigger? Are these the 4 types of triggers? Is that what it is?
I guess you didn't hear clearly. I said that our main topic will be trigger. Okay.
Okay.
Topic. It's like I'm telling you, okay, this is the big topic that we are going to do soon. But before jumping into that topics, we gotta learn some prerequisites, okay, that we are going to do this in this main topic. So we have data types here and variables. That's the first requirement that we need to know about before jumping into that. We need to know about some database languages to be used in triggers, some loopings, conditions, and everything. Okay.
Got it. Okay. So there's primitive data types. Now, then there's the S objects, accounts, contacts, etc., and then collections list. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Any question from the list?
No, I just so if the data type is like, for example, a standard object, for example, like a list of contacts. I just wanted to understand, like, is there a syntax where it always starts the the data type with an uppercase I, or is there something like that with an if you have an account with it's an uppercase A? Is there anything like that, like syntax?
Case sensitive, whether it's case sensitive or not.
Yes.
In most of the cases, it is not, but there are few things we have to take care of. In objects, it's not. It's like there are two things here. How should I say this? We have Visual Force, we have Apex programming. Okay, right now at this level, there's nothing case sensitive. Okay, you can take it this way. When it will come, I'll tell you. There are few things we gotta keep in mind. I'll tell you about that. Okay, not yet. Right now, you can take, okay, everything is just fine. You can use any case, but I'll tell you some conventions that you are supposed to use that way only. Otherwise, it's like good developer points that you need to keep in mind. Okay, that I'll tell you.
Okay.
Right. Now we need to apply a few methods here on the list. Okay, as I told you that we do have index here, right? So let's test whether we actually have the index things or not. Okay. So what we are going to do, we are going to use this get method. Okay. Get method is going to be used to like fetch data. It's not just used here in Classic, it's used in Lightning programming as well. Everywhere, like in the whole Salesforce, you use this get method to get the data. Okay, I'll just write that down. We are going to use this get method to get the data, no matter from where, right now, without any concern of from where we are getting or what we are getting. Just keep this one thing in mind, get the data, and set to either use to send the data, set data means kind of replacing. You have 26 and over there you want to set 46. So 26 will be replaced by 46. Anything like this can be done with set the data. Sorry, the set method. Okay. So I'm going to use both of these methods now. Get method I'm going to use to fetch the data with the help of index. Okay. So I'm gonna go here from here. Alright. Now, to use any of the method, you gotta use the name of the list again, dot get, and I want to get whatever is at index 2. Okay. So line number 10 will get me whatever is stored at index number 2. I don't know what it is. Okay. Secondly, I told you in beginning, the rule is always fetch the data, then store it, and then use it. Okay. So for that thing, I want you to do this uh, thing that in line number 10 we are fetching the data. Now we need to store it. Okay, so for storing it I'll create one integer here. Let's say temp value, temporary value, and then I am going to print this temp value, whatever is stored in temp value. So what will happen? List dot get whatever is at index number 2. It means this get method will fetch whatever is stored at index number 2 from this list and store it in this integer value. Okay, and then we are printing whatever is stored over here. Okay, also this code will also be executed, but if you want you can comment it out. So let's execute. Okay, it's 12 now. Is it 12? Yes, it is 12. Okay, similarly you can set the value. So we have this set method. In set method you have to always give two parameters. Okay, one is the place where you are setting value. Let's say I'm putting at position number 2. Second is the data that you want to put. So let's say 47. Okay, so this method will set the data. Now to check it, what I'll do, I'll just put system.debug and I'll print my statement again. I'm going to comment out these things as well. Okay, this time if I execute it, debug only, and 45, 34 and 47. So this helps you to replace the data for example. Okay, now let's go for the next thing here, that's set. So set is basically the syntax of writing a set, and everything is same. Even I'm going to give you this as a live assignment to write a set. Okay, but the rules here are opposite to a list. Okay, list was ordered collection, set is unordered collection. Like doesn't matter in what order you are going to put, you cannot fetch it with like on basis of order. And eventually there's one more thing, if you put random integer values in a set will let's say sort it out in ascending order. Okay, always. So whatever value you are going to put in integers is going to sort it out in ascending order. Here we do not have any index. We cannot store duplicate value here. Reason being, set are used to store proper unique values. Okay, if you have worked on set theory sometime in mathematics, maybe in 12th or in your, like, of course, it could be long time ago, but still, I'm just giving you a reference that sets are coming from a long time with this theory only, that they are used to store unique values. If you put any duplicate value, okay, right now you can take it as it is not going to add it into your set, but maybe tomorrow I'll show you the real meaning of how your duplicate values work in the set. So use set whenever you want to keep your data 100% unique, like record IDs, you want to store account IDs, you want to store integer values, that kind of things you can store. Okay.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Just take a look at the chat window that I sent. Now, what I did was I didn't need, this is my question. I didn't need to use the get and set. Like, you know, I could do employee ID like 2 and then employee ID, then I could just set the value to 22.
Okay.
So is this only specific for integers, or, you know, or
No, it's fine. You are working with index directly. You're just putting up the index and then printing the values. That's also fine. It's just that I was just showing you the traditional way of doing the same thing. Like, okay, I want to get value from a particular index, but you are providing the index with the listing. That's the way of using your arrays, the same way we do in arrays.
right? But is that a valid way of doing it, or do we have to use get and set?
No.
As
Time you are fine with using it, it's absolutely fine. It doesn't make any problem. Create any problem.
So there is no issues when you're trying to, now, okay, this is integer is a very basic data type, so it's okay, I guess. But, you know, maybe this does not work in other data types. I don't know. I'm just asking you because in Python.
Let me tell you how exactly it's working. You are just printing whatever is stored in a list at position 2. Unless there's not a lot many data, you are fine with printing it. So it's fine. It's okay. No matter what data type it is actually going to support like almost all of them. Like if there is any specific one, it's not hitting my mind. If there is any data type value that cannot be printed through system.debug, that will be the only data type it's not going to support. So I guess all of them are fine with this statement. You are just printing whatever is stored at position 2 in your list directory. Okay.
But I thought that's what you're trying to do before, right? Like you said,
Right.
employee ID dot get and then in parentheses 2. So you.
I was using getSet method eventually to make it look like, okay, I want to fetch the data that's stored at position 2. Okay. So I wanted to look my scenario look like that. That's why I used get and set method.
Okay.
So I was talking about set. So no duplicate value. Okay. You're going to use sets to keep your data unique. Then set are not used with SOQL unless you are not working with unique value. Okay, you cannot just store all the records into it. Then again, we can store any kind of data into set. That's not a problem, but eventually it will not store your duplicate values. Okay, working with set also have the same syntax. Okay, you just have to replace list with a set. That's it. Now, what I'm gonna give you as the live assignment right away. I want you to create a set, okay, within which you have to put random integer values, okay, and then print it. What I want you to see is that when we put random values from integer, it's going to sort it out in ascending order. Also put any duplicate value in between. You will find that, okay, we cannot even put duplicates in the set. Okay. So I'm on mute for 5 minutes. You can take your time to create a set. Okay. and I'm opening the syntax as well for you if in case you need it. Okay.
Mhm. So Komal, this dot set is different than the set that we're learning right now, right?
Uh, can you say the question again?
The set, the syntax that you gave us just now, which is set, data type, set name, that is different from the dot set function, right?
Yeah.
I meant to
Of course,
say,
of course. Yeah, this one. It's totally different. These are two different.
okay, right.
Okay, so Komal, yeah, we've set, I put some random values, I put some duplicate values. When I print out the set, obviously it doesn't show the duplicates, right? Is that what you wanted for this exercise?
Yeah, and secondly, I wanted you to see that okay, and no matter whatever random manner you put here integer values, it's going to show you the output in ascending order. That was the other thing.
Okay, I did not do that, but I will do that now.
So Preeta, could you find the difference?
What's that?
No, I'm asking to Preeta.
Yes, I did put it in a random order and it did sort it out though. I missed putting the duplicate one. I'm just doing it right now. Yeah.
And there is no way to access those individual elements of a set.
No. Try that. You can try. It's gonna throw an error.
I'm done with it, Komal.
Okay, good. Actually, if I just copy Sukrita's code here and paste it, execute the one and same thing. Here as well, I can see the same thing. The output is coming in ascending order. We have curly braces to represent the data here. Okay. Curly braces are used in set, parentheses are used in list to store the data. Okay.
Yeah, good to go.
Okay. Now the third thing that we have is map. Okay. Map. Let me give you the theoretical knowledge about it. Map is a big topic. We'll do that tomorrow, no problem. So basically, when it comes to processing mapped data in Salesforce, like, okay, I want my account names to be mapped with record IDs. This kind of mapped data can be processed with the help of maps over here. Okay, so it's like processing data in pairs, a pair of key and value pair, and never in like a single value. That kind of things we can do with the help of maps. So map is almost a combination of list and set both, and here we are going to work with the um, like combination of key and value which are similar to the rules of list. Okay, so we'll be starting with this thing tomorrow. Okay, homework, there is no homework for now, but I guess you can at least answer the questions about list and set. Like, okay, uh, like right now this question, this interview question, explain collections, you can at least explain it for list and set, the difference you know in both. Okay, scenario could be, I would like to store my record IDs, which collection should I use, that will be set. Okay, and similarly I'm going to ask the same questions tomorrow, don't worry. I'm just telling you like for today. And then let's say other scenario is, I would like to store records from account object, and I want to then manipulate it, I want to update that data somehow. Okay, so which collection first of all should I use to store it? For sure it will be list, because when it comes to record, there is this possibility to have duplicate records, duplicate data. Okay, so at that time we surely use list only. Okay, so that kind of scenario we can have. So this is like whenever your interview start with a very basic level to advanced level, not just from randomly anywhere, then your probably the first question come from this place. Okay, this is like most basic, most genuine, and most simple question, but if you don't know the rules, even it's going to be confusing. Okay, so now we'll be meeting tomorrow. We'll start with the maps tomorrow, and also we'll do the database languages tomorrow only. Like at least we will start it tomorrow. And yeah.
So, can I ask you a quick question? So, um, when you are getting a list of accounts, right? And so, you have a list of account records, and obviously each account has got like multiple fields. So then how do you print first of all, how do you access a particular field within a record? Let's say you have a list of account records, and then
I'm gonna interrupt you in this. Again, you are on level 5, we are on level 1. Tomorrow I'm gonna show you everything related to that. It's like the next topic, working with the like sorry I interrupted you, but I knew you are going to ask this question. So it's like we have database languages that helps you to get data from a particular field. Okay. Second,
Mm.
to store data, list is basically compatible to store your data, but printing will be different here, because if you print
Mm.
directly, it will still work, but it will not be in a very well managed format or way. In that case, we can simply use your for each loop. That's what your for each loop is for, to sort your data that's stored in a list. Like you have a lot
Mm.
of data in the list, maybe you want to apply some action on that data, maybe you want to print it, whatever you want to do it. For each loop helps you to sort it. Now, for sure, in most of our 90% of cases, when we will be writing a program, it will be about some data. And it will not about one record or two. It will be about like maybe 100 records, like at least more than one record. It will be about more than one record. So in
Mm.
that case, we are going to use for each loop. That's why I told you in every program we just fit this for each loop somehow. Okay, so that it's going
Mhm.
to help you to sort out the data. So we are going to learn each and everything that you asked. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Suprita, do you have any question?
No, I think I'm good so far, what we've learned.
All right, that's good. All right, guys. So ending the session for today. We'll be meeting tomorrow the same time. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah. Okay.